Hello my dear Prep3 students, Mr. Hani with you from Badr Tigers Private Schools. Today we are going to continue with Unit 2, Lesson 2. In this unit we are going to take the main structure or the main grammar of the unit, and it's taking about comparative and superlative for comparison. We are going to use comparative and superlative for comparison. We have to use few and little. We are going to use these two words to express the lack of something. The lack of something, or not many, or not too much. So we use these words for comparison. I'm using few, fewer, and the fewest with countable nouns, something that I can count. For example, few students read magazines. Few students. Few students, it means not too many students, not many students. Few students read magazines. Here I used few because students is a countable nouns. And we use little, less, the least with uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns, that noun that I can't make a singular or plural form of it. For example, there is a little water in the lake because it was very dry this year. Little water. I used little here, not too much, with water because water is an uncountable noun. The comparative form are fewer and less. Comparative form when I want to compare between two things. For example, I have got fewer books than you. I have got fewer books than you. Here is a comparative degree, so I used fewer than. I used fewer also because books here is a countable noun. You have got less meat than I have. You've got less meat than I have. Here I'm comparing between you and me. And I used less than because here I'm talking about an uncountable noun. Meat, uncountable noun. What about the superlative form? The superlative forms are the fewest and the least. Superlative. For example, Class 4 has the fewest students. Class 4 has the fewest students. I use the fewest here because I'm talking about students, countable noun. The bottle has the least water. That bottle has the least water. So I use the least here because water is uncountable noun. Now let's answer some exercises or some questions related to this grammar. Complete these sentences with the correct form of few or little. Number 1. There are fewer than 20 people on the bus today. There are fewer than 20 people on the bus today. I used the fewer here because I'm talking about people and this is a countable noun. What is the singular form of people? Yes, person. So the answer here will be fewer. Okay, let's have a look at number 2. The number of tourists visits the museum early in the morning. The number of tourists visits the museum early in the morning. What will the answer be? Right, the fewest number of tourists, because here number of tourists is a countable noun. Number 3. Students often have sleep during school time than during holidays. Again, students often have sleep during school time than during the holidays. Here I'm comparing between students sleep during school time and during the holidays, so it's a comparative form. Here I'm talking about sleep. Is it a countable or uncountable noun? Yes, uncountable noun, so the answer will be less. Students often have less sleep during school time than during the holiday. Excellent. Number 3. The Antarctic is a place in the world that has the rain. The Antarctic is a place in the world that has the rain. Here, rain is uncountable noun, and this is a superlative form. I'm not comparing between two. So the answer will be sure, the least rain. The Antarctic is the place in the world that has the least rain. Number 5. People think that English is not a useful language. People think that English is not a useful language. Is this a comparison? No, it's a positive degree. I'm talking about people here. People is a countable noun, so the answer will be excellent. Few. Few people think that English is not a useful language. Now, I'm going to ask you some questions. Answer these questions in your notebook, and I'm going to see these answers later at school. What is the least time you have spent waiting for a bus? Answer about yourself. Which has fewer legs, a horse or a spider? Which day of the week do you think has the fewest number of cars on the road, and why? On Mondays, do you spend less time at home or at school? When is the driest time of the year in Egypt? Try to answer these questions in your notebook, and I'm going to check it at school. Thank you.